to get that 30% saving.
Yep. So the 30% saving really is coming from the VRI. So if you've already got a machine and you retrofit it, the VRI on here was $28,000.
Right.
Which is cheap as chips. You know, and this was 32 on the 600 metre pivot. So
right.
This was installed when it went up, which is the best option to do.
Yep.
So, you know, it depends on, and I said before, it's much easier to find a reason why you wouldn't do it rather than why you would do it. So people will chuck that one up, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, which is why I asked the question.
Yep. So, but the fact that you can spend $28,000 and so how much a megalitre does it cost you for your water? So you just work out what your numbers are.
Yeah.
And yet the same people would say, oh, you know, $28,000 is a lot of money. So they're probably going to buy a new tractor and they'll spend more than $28,000 buying a new tractor and do no more than the last one.
Yep.
Comfortable, neighbour likes the look of it.
Yep.
It won't do them any more than the last one. It won't make them any money
So
at
it's
all.
what you use your capital investment on, and in terms of your, like you said before, you get your 30% saving, and then you use that 30% water saving here, and because you've got the precision here as well,
Yeah.
you've got it further. So it's about how you move that capital saving. Yeah.
And then I'd rather buy my tractor out of cash.
Yes. Yeah, that's
so
right.
It's we try to spend it where it's going to make us the most money.
Yep.
So one of the advantages, there's been a lot of English Nuffield scholars here recently, and I was a scholar in 2008, and with some of your counterparts from Australia, and they're all looking at it saying, oh yeah, but it costs money. I said, well that's fine, but we live in a non-subsidised environment, so we're also businessmen. We look at every dollar that we spend and how we're going to make the most of it. Whereas some of these guys are getting a significant amount of money in subsidies, so they don't actually have to be too focused on the business model. And lots of farmers around the world are actually farmers and not necessarily business. Water for me is not the driver. For me, the efficiencies in crops like this that are just absolutely even in driving production and being able to harvest them all on the same, you know, every area is ready on the same day.
Yep.
All of those things are well and truly what our drivers are.
Well, I'm comparing a flood system at the present time to looking at sprays and so on. Now I'm having a bit of trouble justifying it on paper why I should move from flood to spray. That, you know, the 20% increase in output is there, but it's like, well then, you know, we need to spend money on other infrastructure projects around the farm, making sure our tracks can carry the increased number of cows, you know, or the dairy and so on can milk right through, having appropriate staffing levels and all that kind of jazz. I'm not against it at all. I'm just saying, well, we need to look at it holistically and say, well, what else needs to go with that package to make it work? And are we prepared to do that?
So we've been down the same track, because over there on the dairy farm was all border dike.
Yep.
So this scheme gives you 3.5 millimetres per hectare per day.
Yep.
So we never had enough water under flood irrigation.
Oh,
and yet we had laser levelled down the farm and across the field. We had as efficient border dike system as you'll ever see. So in here there'll be 6 metres of fall over about 400 metres.
Yep.
So it's as good as you get. But we were putting on 100 millimetres originally, laser levelled everything. We're back to about 60 to 65 millimetres in one event. Couldn't keep up.
Yep.
Now we've got 3.5 mils under pivots and laterals over the dairy farm, and we don't use it all.
Yes.
So and we've gone to where we now grow probably 50% more grass than we used to grow.
Up to 50% more grass.
Plus we've got 15, you start talking about head races and flood irrigation, we've got 15% of our property back in that we didn't have in productive land.